to his original weight. And Robeisy mentioned, look, of course I want to stop him before Shakur Stevenson did in that 6th round, because there's going to always be that comparison between Robeisy Ramirez, who won gold in the Olympics, by beating Shakur Stevenson, who took silver.
Of course it is, but, you know, that's the ego in Ramirez. He just needs to come in here and get this victory. He don't need to worry about what the next man is doing. He needs to worry about what he's doing.
Ramirez, the southpaw with blue trunks trimmed in white, and goes directly to what Shakur Stevenson did and worked for him against Caraballo, the body shots.
Oh yeah, he told us in the fighter meeting that's what he's going to be looking for. You know, but Caraballo, he's strong. He's going to put relentless pressure on Ramirez tonight. He's going to test him.
Referee Robert Hoyle with the first warning to both fighters for something that you're going to see all night long with this southpaw against the orthodox. That battle to establish the outside position of the feet.
Yes, that's very important. But, you know, one thing that I got to say, it's a misnomer, is that you can move to your right. A lot of guys say, oh, move to your left. Yes, you have to move to your left. Of course, especially when you get in there to deliver your shots, because you're safer when you're outside that foot. But you can also move to your right as well and battle the backhand of the southpaw.
Nice double jab and then a left hand from Robeisy Ramirez. Ismael Salas, the famed Cuban trainer, said, we're working on the lead hand of Robeisy in this fight, something you mentioned, but here's the footwork.
There it is. That's a T position right there that I'm talking about. You see where Caraballo is, and you see how Ramirez is squared up on the ropes. If you get a southpaw in the T position, you have both hands. You can work both of your hands. There it is again. This is where Caraballo needs to live, right here. Against the ropes, get him in a T position and let both his hands go.
Caraballo did not have that much success in terms of corralling Shakur Stevenson throughout their fight. Hoping to change things up, but he also said, look, Shakur was bigger at 130 pounds. This is my weight. This is where I feel more comfortable.
See that little drop right there from Ramirez? He does that often. You know, studying him in the film, that's his tee off right there. That's what he's showing you. He wants to throw the looping left hand. Every time you see that, you need to change your level. There it is again.
So poker players, that's his tell.
That's his tell right there. Beautiful uppercut right there from Ramirez. Catching Caraballo as he's trying to come in with his head.
Power puncher.
This is a impressive shot right here. This is all timing right here. He slipped inside the jab of Caraballo and slips an uppercut right up the middle. You know, now he's changing. It's coming down, it's leaning forward.
It's the evolution of a fighter who at 26 years old had an extensive amateur career. 400+ bouts, winning about 85% of his fights, did Robeisy Ramirez. And Felix Caraballo is a fighter who only had about 75 amateur fights. And here, Ramirez is pressing the action and pushing Caraballo backwards.
Listen, you can't be sitting there complaining. I know he hit you low, but you can't be sitting there complaining to the referee, especially when the guy is close enough to hit you with offense. And that's what Caraballo did. He complained to the referee, looked to the referee, and then what did Ramirez do? Teed off.
See another body shot from Ramirez as Caraballo tries to answer with the right to the solar plexus.
Again, Caraballo, he gets to where he needs to be, but then he's afraid because the punching power and the speed and the accuracy of the shots coming from Ramirez right now is lethal. He feels it. He's respecting his power.
Caraballo has 2 sons, so he says, I don't want them to box, and he's got a baby girl on the way. He says, that's who I fight for. They're my motivation. They're my inspiration. Out there in Mayagüez, Puerto Rico. Those quick hands from Robeisy Ramirez. Maybe not doing too much damage in that case, but setting something up.
I love the fact that he's taking small steps. Ramirez, he's not running. He's directly in front of Caraballo. He's not getting hit with anything that's, you know, minor. You know, he's really taking his time right now and looking for the perfect shot. to land against Caraballo.
Speaking of Ramirez, Jose Ramirez, the unified 140-pound champion, just announced on Instagram that they're expecting a baby girl to join their son Mateo. So had a little gender reveal.
Congratulations.
So congrats to the champ Jose Ramirez.
No push, no push.
And Marisol. Nice right hand there from Robeisy Ramirez.
No push, Robeisy.
Which way is Robeisy moving often? He's moving to his left quite often. You know, he never goes around to the right. He's constantly looking to sit on that back foot to be able to land that left hand.
Round 2 coming to an end here at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. Tim, I don't know if this is in Southern California. All right, round 3 of a scheduled 8-round fight. Bernardo Osuna alongside Timothy Bradley and Mark Kriegel joining us on this call from inside the bubble in Las Vegas. Felix Caraballo attacking, but Ramirez, Robeisy Ramirez, a 2-time Olympic gold medalist, just a lot more efficient with a 40% accuracy clip.
Caraballo's putting a lot of pressure on Ramirez right now, digging down to the body occasionally. You can see Ramirez stand very calm in there, looking for the right spot to be able to land. Every now and then, Caraballo, what he'll do is he'll get his head down inside and he'll lift up just like he did there. And Ramirez meets his head with punches.
You can see the evolution of the style of Robeisy Ramirez, just the way his feet are planted in the ring, the way he's starting to turn over those punches. And that's the influence of a man who was notorious at La Finca as a great trainer in Ismael Salas, who was able to evolve his style as a trainer as well with all the Cubans that came over to the United States, especially here in Las Vegas.
Yeah, Ismael Salas has done a good job with him so far, you know, and he's still in development stages. He's looking a lot better. And you see, I like the fact that he's just real comfortable, calm, poised. You know, even though he's getting a massive amount of pressure, I like that he's just keeping his composure and looking for the right shots.
Mark Kriegel, what's going on with Jose Trabon in Felix Caraballo's corner?
Well, I spoke to Jose Trabon. He says, keep going to the body. Ramirez is faster than we are. We got to slow him down. There's one way to do it. Bang him to the body.
Thank you, Mark. And we just saw how Ramirez shook that left hand. Hope it's not an indicator of anything bad going on.
You know, when you see a guy, he moves the same way all the time, you need to cut off that angle. You know, force them the opposite way. You know, and you don't see that from Caraballo, you know, so he's lacking a little bit of ring IQ, I would say. Ramirez can constantly move into his left side.
Double right hook there from Robeisy Ramirez. Overhand right from Caraballo, who's trying to find that key to open up the defense of Robeisy Ramirez. Low blow.
Both guys are keeping their head right down the middle and the inside. As you can see, they're both available for uppercuts. Caraballo, he likes to load up with his punches. Sometimes you just need to let them fly from where they are.
Round 3 comes to an end, and in about 28 days, we'll be back in this bubble with the mega fight. Vasily Lomachenko on ESPN October 17th. And we also invite you to watch Blood, Sweat, and Tears in the build-up to this fight on Sundays at 8:30 Eastern Time on October 4th and October 11th. So a big fight deserves a big build-up.
Watch your head. Watch him now. Come on.
Robeisy Ramirez taking on Felix Caraballo. Ramirez, the 2-time Olympic gold medalist.
Keep him up. Keep him up.
Last man to beat Shakur Stevenson in the ring in Rio 2016. Nice quick combinations from Robeisy Ramirez, and now starting to use his feet and making Caraballo chase after him.
Yeah, Ramirez is just laying back, you know, trying to use Caraballo's aggression against him. He's coming forward, he's mauling, but he's not doing anything at all. I mean, he did the same thing against Shakur Stevenson. You would think that a fighter would learn, you know, after a loss. But obviously, Caraballo hasn't.
It's also the level of boxer that you have in front of you that makes it hard to get settled in there, although he lands a nice right hand, does Caraballo. And he's got to eat that leather coming from the jab of Robeisy Ramirez.
Yeah, one thing is Robeisy Ramirez is he's not like super, you know, slippery. He's directly in front of him. He's, you know, moving slightly to his left and just countering straight down the middle. I mean, you know, if Caraballo, if he just lets his hands go, let them go from where they are. Stop trying to load up with just throwing body shots and change up the cadence a little bit. I think he'll have a lot more success.
We always talk about Shakur Stevenson and how his opponents land about 4% of their jabs, and it's stellar. Well, tonight so far, Caraballo has only landed 2 jabs of what he's thrown, or 1 jab out of 66. So that's pretty stellar himself in terms of avoiding that jab.
Well, one, he's not even throwing the jab, really. He's just walking in behind, you know, his head. And the second thing, it's really hard and difficult to land a jab against a southpaw because of the angle. Southpaws, you got to understand, they're used to fighting right-handers. Right-handers are not used to fighting southpaws.
Keep him in front. Keep him in front.
Caraballo complains there about the rabbit punch.
Yes. Watch the head. Watch the heads, okay?
Robert Boyle with a warning, and then they go right like Rams, right back to where they were. And to round 4, we're going to follow Robeisy Ramirez into the corner where gut time. Work in the middle of the ring. That guy can't even touch you. The only time he can even land a punch is if you stand still. Your defense has to be based on your footwork. Let's go get it, kid.
Said his defense got to be based on his footwork. Well, there's 3 forms of defense. You know, you can block shots, you can slip shots, and you can also use your feet, like Ismael Salas is asking for.
Good thing for Ramirez is he's able to do all those aspects of defense. And here comes Caraballo. Second half of this fight. He's gonna have to go for it because I don't think he's won any round so far.
He hasn't won any round, and he's trying to let his hands go like there. You just got to let them go. I mean, if you're getting hit to begin with without throwing punches, you need to let your hands go and still get hit. Better your chances, please.
He's befuddled so far, much like he was against Shakur Stevenson.
But it's a different type of fight right here. This is a completely different type of fight. You know, the one thing that Ramirez is doing is he's fighting him, you know, just as Shakur Stevenson did, but Shakur let his hands go a lot more.
And his punches had authority behind him too, because that was his first fight at 130 pounds. He wanted to send a message to all the champions out there, hey, this kid's not playing. I'm leaving my belt at 126 for Navarrete and Ruben Villa to fight for it right here in the bubble later on in October, but make no mistakes about it. I still have the mentality of a champion when I'm coming to 130. Great head movement there from Robeisy Ramirez. It's art in motion when these Cuban fighters can put it all together. Ooh, nice counter left from Robeisy.
Robeisy has a.
Watch the head.
He could do more. Honestly, he could do more. I mean, he's clearly winning this fight handedly, easy, but he definitely can get more and try to go for the knockout if he wants to.
But it's not something that we haven't seen with a lot of the Cuban fighters, the mentality of it, hey, if I'm outpointing you, why take any risks?
Yeah, but, you know, knockouts, that's what sells.
Yeah.
You know, that's what sells. People want to see knockouts. And if you have a guy that's hurt I have a guy that's directly in front of you and you can unleash and everything you throw is landing. Why don't you go for the knockout?
See the inflammation under the right eye of Caraballo, and that's just a tribute to all the left hands that Robeisy Ramirez has been able to land there. Connected on a solid uppercut earlier in this round, and he seems to be wanting to sit on his punches, but then starts to move laterally. Oh, nice left. Ooh, dig into the body, and then another left overhand. Big right hand, and now we've got Caraballo wobbled. Big uppercut there from Caraballo, or from Ramirez, and Caraballo says, come, give me some more.
Now that's what I'm talking about right there. You know. Beautiful shots right here. You see Robeisy taking his time, finds a spot, steps out on a nice little angle right there. Caraballo just walked right into that left hand. Didn't see it coming. And this is explosive combinations right here. This is what I'm talking about. If Ramirez wants to get rid of this guy, he can turn it up at any moment. He's taking his time, but you see in this sequence right here, this young man is explosive. He has hand speed. He got dynamite in both hands. If he just unleashed his punches, my friend, Bernardo.
See if he does that here in round number 6 of a scheduled 8-rounder inside the bubble. Bernardo Osuna alongside Timothy Bradley and Mark Kriegel. And you see Caraballo going straight to work, trying to push back Ramirez, who has landed on 57% of his power punches last round.
See, that's the instincts of a fighter. You see Caraballo, he was hurt at the end of that fight, at the end of that round, and then he comes out and attack. We're trained to go towards the danger. That's what we're trained to do.
Listen, I need you to watch your head, okay? Okay, not pushing in, okay? Same with you. Watch your head. That's it, okay? Okay? Let's go clean. Time in.
Saw what happened last time, and then they go right back into it. They should be like in a Ram commercial, bro. It's like, come on.
Anyhow, if anybody's wondering why Ramirez wasn't able to keep that type of intensity, it's because, you know, he expended a lot of energy throwing those hard shots, quick hard shots. That take a lot out of you. So, you know, he had to kind of, you know, get his air back into his lungs.
This is the round that Shakur Stevenson finished Felix Caraballo in on June the 9th in the main event of the return of boxing on the same night that Robeisy Ramirez stopped Yeuri Andujar earlier in that round.
So one way to get that endurance to where you can throw combinations all night long.
How's that, Tim?
It's called road work. Get on the track, do some sprints, baby.
Or you can do it like
in.
Big Ray used to do with you.
Oh my goodness. My father was lethal, man. Anything to make me cry. But he worked.
Made you a multiple-time champion.
Yes, sir.
Come on, Robeisy, watch that. Watch it.
Now, when you got a guy leaning in like that, like Caraballo is, how do you take advantage of that?
Uppercut. Uppercut central. His head is right down the middle. A lot of guys, they used to watching Cesar Chavez. He keeps his head down in the middle, but he was smart. He was setting you up. He moved his head from side to side. He'll be in the middle. Go ahead and swing. Dip to the left. Hit you with a left hook to the liver. But you get your head off to the shoulder. That's a safe zone. And then you're able to step around your opponent.
Keep him up. Keep him up.
Good shots right there.
And he gets the warning from referee Robert Hoyle for a low blow. Does Caraballo when he finally had a semblance of offense going. That one was low from Caraballo on the hip.
There you are. You know, let me give you another tip. Wherever the head goes, the body goes. So if you put your hand on the head a little bit and kind of push it down, guess what? His head's going to go down. His body's going to go with it. Push that head to the side and the inside.
End of round 6. Imagine that, a 6'6" dude this big coming down the soccer field.
Oh my
I'm getting out the way.
I ain't getting out the way.
You are? You
nah,
not?
man, please. I'm taking it head on. I'm taking it.
Look at your head.
Lowest man wins.
Okay. Speaking of low, you see Caraballo keeping his head right on Ramirez and trying to create that space to land those shots.
He gonna get a point taken, keeping his head down there in the inside like that, right in the middle. The ref is looking closely.
I mean, it doesn't help that Ramirez does the same thing. I think if Ramirez wasn't leaning in as well, he probably already would have taken a point.
Man, you meet that head with punches.
Yep.
That's what you do.
Like that.
Just like that.
Whether it's overhead or with the uppercut, but it's right there to be hit. You see him setting up that left uppercut. Robeisy Ramirez looking for an opening.
Look, Ramirez is a dynamic fighter. You know, there's no question he has a ton of skills. You know, you can see it. But to me, he fights a little lazy to me. You know, I don't know if he's real, you know, goes hard, you know, really in the gym. You know, he really just depends on his talent. Because let me tell you, he can end this fight anytime he wants.
Right there, you see it. He lands a 3-punch combination and then lets Caraballo off the hook. Now we're doing the dance of the Rams. You see? Boom.
You know, you got all the young fighters wanting to, you know, make a whole lot of money. Everybody's talking about they want to make a whole lot of money, get rich. Well, one way, the quickest way is produce some knockouts for the fans at home. They want to see some knockouts, especially when you have a guy sitting directly in front of you. Yes, Caraballo got his hands up high. He's making the things a little difficult, but he's there to be hit. And just like Shakur Stevenson did, he found a way.
Yeah, but Robeisy Ramirez went away from the body.
He went away from the body, but you got to open him up. You know, you got the high, tight guard, protecting his ribs. But you got to open him up.
He's got about 3 minutes and 30 seconds to open up and finish in impressive fashion. No doubt that he should be ahead on the scorecards.
Oh, without a doubt. This was the easy fight. You see him right now changing up the rhythm, just touching Caraballo right now.
You see what he does and it's good, and then you think about what he could do.
Oh my goodness.
And that's what kind of leaves you wanting more.
Yes.
Let's see if Ismael Salas has that same impression of gimme. The 8th and final round. This is the first time that Robeisy Ramirez has been to the 8th round as a professional. We'll see if he's able to finish off this fight in impressive fashion, or if you'll be content to just take away what should be a very easy decision in his favor. We see Caraballo coming out trying to be aggressive. I think it's just his last stand.
Yeah, it's his last stand. I mean, he got to do something. He hasn't won a round in my book yet.
And this is the moment where Robeisy Ramirez has a decision to make. Does he want to coast to a victory, or does he want to send a message that he will be a future world champion at 126 pounds? Because if he can't get rid of Caraballo, then he's still got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, I mean, he does. I think he still has, you know, he's in the development stages. I mean, you would expect a fighter with that much amateur experience, gold medalist, you know, to be able to come in here and dominate, you know, and get rid of guys. But, you know, every crop is different. Every crop is different. Everyone's not a Shakur Stevenson. Everyone's not a Teofimo Lopez, you know. Robeisy is a very, very talented fighter. He is. But to me, now what I see, he's a tad bit lazy. He's a tad bit lazy. He depends on his experience and he depends on his gift, his talent. But he needs to have that work ethic behind it.
Well, it's that Cuban thought, the Cuban school of the fine boxing, the art of boxing, the art of hitting and not being hit. But sometimes you need that Terrence Crawford mean streak in you to finish a guy when you can, which should be the case against Caraballo. Yeah, that's the difference between being really good or being great and selling tickets and putting butts in the seats.
Yes.
Keep him up. Push down, no push down. Come on, let's go.
Last 45 seconds of this fight's been all Robeisy Ramirez all the time. Landing over 50% of his power punches so far, and usually that translates into a knockout, but not in this particular case.
It's all about the mindset of the fighter. It truly is. Stevenson came in against Caraballo. He wanted to get rid of him. He found a way. Robeisy's okay with coasting to a victory, which is fine. That's it. That's his prerogative. But with the skill set that he possesses, I expected him to get rid of Caraballo. That's just my expectation.
But then that's the difference between expecting a big payday and just expecting another payday.
Very true. But he's at the beginning stages right now and still developing.
Should be his 5th victory as a pro, and congratulations from La Sombra Caraballo to Entren Robeisy Ramirez. First time going 8 rounds, he was happy about that. He did tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it was impressive work. I'm not gonna lie, it was impressive. You know, he looked good in spots. You know, especially with the uppercut. He worked his lead hand a little bit more. You know, not a whole heck of a lot like I expected him to, but he did in spots. You know, I want to see a little bit more right hooks, jabs, you know, followed up with the left hand. That's a complete southpaw. And then I noticed that he only moved one way a whole heck of a lot. Now he needs to learn how to move the opposite way, so that way his craft will continue to develop. But decent performance by Robeisy Ramirez. He won this fight easily.
No doubt. The numbers say that too, Tim.
After 8 rounds here inside the MGM Grand, we go to the judges' scorecards for the official decision. Julie Letterman has the bout 79-73. Tim Cheatham and Lisa Giampa both score the bout 80-72. Declaring your winner by unanimous decision, Robeisy Ramirez.
Choo-choo, the train continues to chug along for Robeisy Ramirez, getting his 5th victory. Couldn't get the knockout against a man who was stopped by Shakur Stevenson, but nonetheless, Tim, a solid win.
A very solid win. Something